Hello, good day, everyone. So for this session, I would like to share to you some of the Minecraft principles on game-based learning, which is very important for us educators who actually wanted to use the platform of Minecraft Education Edition when we wanted to implement a game-based learning. So let's start. Now, the learning objectives of this session is actually to learn the difference between game-based learning and gamification, learn about the 6 principles of the Minecraft Education Edition in game learning principles, and the features of Minecraft Education Edition. So, let's hit it. Now, game-based learning versus gamification. What is the difference between the two of them? But before we go further, let's try to expound first the idea of game-based learning. Now, in game-based learning in general, it is expected that the level of engagement of our learners are more, more improved, or it is increasing because it is by nature an immersive learning environment. Basically, like for example, in mathematics, there are a lot of abstract concepts that are difficult to grasp by the learners. And most of the time in conventional teaching, these difficult concepts that are very abstract are very difficult to transfer or very difficult to teach to learners in a conventional teaching. Now, basically, it becomes more tangible. These ideas or concepts becomes more tangible when a teacher, a teacher that is creative, be able to create a learning journey that makes it immersive through a game-based learning. So because it now becomes an immersive learning environment, it becomes more tangible. Another thing is that it solves problems through trial and error. So this is the development of persistence. You see, in a game-based learning, the idea of the idea here is that their failures is part of their learning process. So we uphold, or there is that culture of there is nothing wrong of committing mistakes. In fact, mistakes is part of the learning process. So in here, you are able to develop that kind of character to your learners that when they commit mistakes, their learning journey does not end there. They simply has to move forward, be able to process it properly in such a way that they must be able to figure out what are the things that they need to adjust so that on the next attempt or on the next chance that is being given to them, they are able to improve their output or they are able eventually to complete the task that is being given to them. Now, this also, game-based learning also builds collaboration and communication. This is actually a natural consequence, if I would have to say, when you are making use of game-based learning as your approach in teaching your lesson. Because basically, when you are into a game-based learning environment, it is very impossible for your learners to complete the given task if they are not collaborating and communicating among their peers and even to you as a teacher. It would be very impossible for them to complete their tasks. And basically, as we have observed, our learners are naturally competitive. So if they see that their classmates are able to finish the task, they would wanted to finish the task as well. With that kind of scenario that they are facing into, it becomes already a natural reaction that they will really have to approach their classmates or even you as a teacher to help them so that they could be able to finish the task that is being given to them. So according to studies, uh, whenever we are engaged in game-based learning, there is immediately a 12% increase of the learning outcomes. Okay, again, It is when when the level of engagement and participation of our learners increases, it is a natural consequence that the learning outcome also increases. That's already an expected outcome, because eventually, when we observe that the level of engagement and participation is significantly increasing, this means that the learning journey is more meaningful to them. They are able to connect and relate on that one. Now, what is game-based learning, or what's the difference between game-based learning and gamification? So basically, most of us know we tend to confuse game-based learning with gamification. We thought that game-based learning is just the same as gamification and even the converse, no? But these two are actually different in terms of adding game elements to a non-game situation. So, for example, in the classroom, some teachers use gamification to reward and recognize students for good work or behavior. Basically, for me as a classroom teacher, gamification is more appropriate when we are already into a kind of assessment. May it be a formative or summative assessment. Basically, like for example, when you are Kahoot could be one of the example of a gamification approach, in which you have questions there, and if the learners are able to answer it correctly, it has a corresponding score to them. So it is being rewarded through a score. So that is a gamification. And basically, gamification is only appropriate when you are already in an assessment level. It could be a formative again or summative. But game-based learning is the other way around. This is actually being used as a leverage, no? A game that is a leverage or a vehicle for learning. So you are not, okay, the main focus when we are implementing game-based learning is not actually into the assessment, but we are more on the learning experience itself. Okay, so it's not, the assessment could be part of it, but it's not only the assessment, it's only part of the entire design. Assessment is only part of the entire design in here, because basically your main purpose here is that you wanted to provide your learners an enhanced learning journey that would help them be able to achieve the learning competencies that is within that lesson in easy yet fun way. So that's the game-based learning. Now, what are this Minecraft philosophy based on 6 principles of game-based learning? So let's start with the number 1, the failure dynamic. So what is that? What does this mean? So when we say failure dynamic, again, in Minecraft game, we acknowledge that learners makes mistakes, and that mistakes are not, they are not negative, they are not wrong. In fact, mistakes are part of the learning process. They need to commit mistakes so that they could be able to complete the task. That's the thing here. So in doing that, in promoting that kind of learning environment, we make the learners feel more comfortable when they are not able to do it properly at the first attempt, or even on the second attempt, or even on the third attempt, because the game itself is designed that whenever they are not able to do it right on the first attempt, or on the second and on the third, they have a chance to do it again until such time that they are able to complete the task given in that game. Say for example, in a building of a house, and it so happened that it's on fire. So perhaps there were some mistakes on how the building was carried, and there's nothing. Of course, the learner will feel bad. That's a natural feeling. But then again, having the idea that there is a chance that to do it again, the learner will be able to process it in a positive manner. And basically, it is what is very sure about that is that when he or she is already doing it on the second attempt, it is far more better. The building or the design itself will be far more better on the first attempt or on the previous attempt that is being done, because there is a processing that will happen there. And the Minecraft game allows that learners will be able to experience that processing. So this is even true in this particular kind of activity here. Let me have my pointer here now. So like for example, if your topic is about on agriculture, and you require, so instead of putting a garden there, you intend to have it just be simulated first in Minecraft, so that it will not be a waste of time, money, and effort. And you have those constraints that are already being set up in that kind of world in this particular game. What happened is that there were dead crops on the learner's end when he or she was designing his or her garden. But basically, because the game itself allow learners to do it again, the trial and error process, then that would also mean that uh, the learner has that great chance to make it far more better on the previous design that is already being made. All right, next is the flexibility dynamic. This one is very important for me as a teacher, most especially that I am a math teacher. Because in here, in terms of flexibility dynamic, there are you can be able to present your topic in different ways, so that learners are able to grasp it also in different perspective. Basically, because we know that by nature our learners are diverse. That means they see your lesson in different ways. And even though we wanted them to achieve one common goal, but there is that path, that multiple learning path that you design, so that these different kinds of learners, no matter how different are they in terms of their learning styles, they are able to achieve the same learning competency. So like for example, in the concept of area in mathematics, you can present the idea there that in area, objects may have the same area, but they don't necessarily be exactly the same. They don't necessarily look exactly the same. So in that, you can make use of blocks to represent that. Like for example, you can represent a rectangle and then a square, and then both of these are having the same area. Now, even in science like chemistry, you can make use of that flexibility dynamic of Minecraft. This would really greatly depends on the creativity of the teacher. Because in Minecraft, under chemistry, you have there a virtual laboratory in which you can mix elements to create compounds. And of course, that is very difficult if you are in the in a real life scenario in a laboratory. You cannot just simply mix elements there, because number one, it's not safe, and then number two, it's expensive. So in Minecraft, you can actually do that virtually, and you may learn there along the way that, oh, when I'm mixing this kind of elements, they are dangerous because they explode and so on. They are free to explore without really putting at risk any resources or even their safety at all. Then we have the construction dynamic. In here, students feel engaged in creating something that has purpose and ownership. Basically, I'd like to mention the project-based learning. Project-based learning, I must say that the partnership of project-based learning and Minecraft would be a good partnership, or should I say, the pairing is an excellent pair. When these two things are being paired, I think the learning environment, the learning experience of your learners would be far more better than the conventional teaching can offer. In here, you can actually allow your learners, you can create a game in which they can create something, build something. So like for example, in a project-based learning, you wanted them to solve something in terms of food sustainability. So you wanted them to design a crop management that will actually provide enough food for a certain situation. So in here, you allow learners to solve that in so many ways as long as the purpose is being or the goal is being met. And because of that, because that's their own design, that's their own construction, they have full ownership of that. This is a totally different kind of learning environment when we compare that to the traditional one, which me and my other in my generation, no, ako ug sa ako ang mga uban nga generation naagian. So like for example in TLE, in our times, what will always happen is that our TLE teacher will present an example output, and then our TLE teacher then will expect us to do, may not be exactly the same as the output being presented, but similar to the output. But then again, there is not much of an ownership I feel on that, because what happened there is just a copy of the output, or of an idea that has already been made. So this is just simply a replication of an idea that has already been made. There is not so much ownership that exists there. Unlike in Minecraft, you don't necessarily provide an example, because basically what you do there is you guide your learners along the journey so that they could be able to figure out on how they could be able to solve the problem that is being presented to them. And because of that, there is really that full ownership, because the conceptualization, the planning, the development, and the implementation are all theirs. There is a full ownership in the end. Now we have what we call as the situated meaning. Again, this is now what we call as the immersive learning environment. So in here, the learning, because we know that most of us learn by experience. Now that experience, that needed experience that a teacher must be able to provide so that learning can really happen, is possible in Minecraft. In so many instances, in a conventional way of teaching, this immersive learning environment could be very difficult to provide, because number one, basically there are so many constraints that has to be considered. Number one, you have the available resources. So when we say available resources, the time, the money, and so many other things. Because of this, teachers would really tend to just present the theoretical concept of that lesson. And that is why it's very hard for learners to grasp what is being really meant of those abstract ideas, because learners were not given that enough chance to really experience the learning process. But in Minecraft, this is not already impossible, because those constraints that might be existing in a conventional teaching may not really affect at all when you are already using game-based learning. It is only a matter of the creativity of the teacher on how he or she can design a learning journey in which an immersive learning can happen, so that again, learners can be able to connect and relate to the abstract ideas that are being presented. And so what will happen that through this experience that is actually uh, existing within the game, then they are able to connect and relate with the lesson. Next, we have the system thinking. In this part, okay, this principle actually helps learners to develop their critical thinking. In here, they are possibly the game that they are playing have different layers, or it is in a hierarchy. So we have the level 1, the level 2, level 3, 4, and so on. And learners, they will realize along the way that they cannot be able to go into level 2 if they are not able to complete the task in level 1. And having said that, of course, they must be able to realize that they need to figure out things there in level 1 to complete the task. And so, because they need to be able to figure out what has to be done correctly to go to the next level, their critical thinking are actually being developed. Those pieces, those different pieces in the puzzle in those every levels must be put together so that they could be able to complete the task. So that is the thing about system thinking. And finally, we have building empathy, which is very important to our young learners. As educators, we are forerunners of diversity and inclusivity. And so, being able to make use of Minecraft as a platform to implement game-based learning, there is a great chance that we are able to build empathy because in playing games in Minecraft, students learn that people are more alike than different and that everyone deserves to be treated with respect and kindness. You see, they can be along the way in making use of Minecraft, they will really realize that their differences does not matter at all because no matter how different they are, it is still very possible for them to be able to achieve a common goal. Because basically that's what is very needed. So along the way, they will have this kind of self-realization in which you don't necessarily teach to them already because this is learned through experience that even if that classmate is different from him or her, there was no problem of that differences because without that classmate of his or her, he or she is not able to complete the task. So you see, being able to build that empathy within our learners as young as they are would really be very helpful because remember, we are our main goal is to produce lifelong learners. Okay, they are not just simply learners that are academically adept, but they must be lifelong learners. And so we need to develop their holistic aspect. And being able to develop their empathy is very important, which is very natural to happen in Minecraft. So basically, that's it for the 6 principles of game-based learning. So we say the failure dynamic. So we have fail early, fail often. That's good. And then I have the flexibility dynamic. This one provides multiple paths to success. Again, we have diverse learners, and as we respect their diversity, we also have to make it sure that our learning environment or learning journey is inclusive. That would mean every types of learners have an equal chance to gain success on the learning competency that you are expecting them to achieve. The third one is the construction dynamic. So building something that matters, no, building with a purpose to have an ownership of that output. Number four, situated meaning. Learn ideas by experiencing them. So being able to understand an abstract idea by providing them an immersive learning environment, thereby making the abstract idea tangible to them already. And as it becomes tangible, the learners becomes more connected and related to the lesson. And so the learning outcome that is expected to be achieved is now possible to be achieved. Number five, we have system thinking. Learn how all pieces fit or can be fit. And then finally, we have building empathy, bringing players together to achieve a common goal. So these are the things that we must be able to put in mind whenever we are engaging into Minecraft as a game-based learning. Students must feel free to try different ways to solve problems. Again, there must be a multiple paths to gain success. There is again This is to encourage or to uphold diversity and inclusivity. Next, we have students must be given time for productive struggles. So the culture of uh, committing mistakes to improve and to gain success is what is highlighted here. There's nothing to commit mistakes because mistakes are actually the one that guides us so that we could be able to complete the task. And then teachers has to give up some control and students have to have ownerships. So for this one, of course, teachers are facilitators. When we are implementing a game-based learning, teachers are facilitators of learning. So eventually, there are some controls that teachers has to give up to make it sure that to promote that learners will have their choice and voice. So they can self-regulate themselves according to their level or their capacity. And then we have connect to purpose. Okay, so being able to create a learning environment that is connected to real life situations and possibly solving problems in real life situations would even mean more meaningful to them because they are able to connect that or relate to that because it's a real life situation that they are able to see while they are unfolding what is really the lesson all about. Students must work on collaboration skills and develop appropriate ways to interact with others. Again, as I've mentioned, Minecraft Education Edition actually promotes collaboration and communication. It's a natural happening in Minecraft when we talk about collaboration and communication because basically they cannot again complete a task without even connecting to other people. It's very impossible for them to complete the task if they will not collaborate and even communicate with their classmates or even teachers. And then students are encouraged to talk about multiple solutions to problems in and out of the classroom. So again, multiple paths of learning to gain success. And of course, it would be better if learners are able to connect their learning not only in the inside but outside of the classroom. And hands-on, minds-on. So when we are engaged in game-based learning, specifically in using Minecraft, it is a hands-on activity. We are into it, and of course, minds-on. Okay, so our entire self is actually into that game already. Now, these are the features of Minecraft Education Edition, and let's try to get to know each one of them. So the first one is Minecraft is simple and it provides secure login. So students and educators use Office 365 education accounts to log in to Minecraft Education Edition. This ensures secure access to the game and student data privacy. This also ensures wherever, whenever learning. Now in here, basically if you have a premium account, the school has purchased a premium account. So teachers and learners can make access of the Minecraft Education Edition. And so what will happen here is that uh, there is, because this is one of the feature that Office 365 always provide, that whenever our learners are making use of the Minecraft application, they can always ensure of the secure access of the game. Uh, no one can easily access the game without their proper authentication. Okay, so basically, if the school purchase an account, a Microsoft Education Edition premium account, they will be giving specific learners on that account. So any person that are not expected to be part of the game will be impossible for them to join during that time because that's one of the security features. There is that security features that is being provided by Microsoft in terms of that. Education edition scheme. So as you can see, our learners can choose a multiple types of avatars to represent them when they are inside the game. Okay, so there are a lot of them. So schemes allow students to choose multiple their avatar, increasing student engagement and allowing educators to more easily differentiate students playing together. Okay, so they can choose on how they will be represented in their virtual games. Next, we have easy classroom collaboration. An entire classroom can play in the world together without any need for an external server. Using the Friends tab, students can collaborate in small or large learning groups and create and learn together. So it's not difficult, okay? It's not difficult to bring your learners in one virtual classroom like one world, okay? Because in Minecraft, we call this as world, okay? The very game there that you can choose from, we call that as world. So you can bring all of your learners there without even any difficulty, just using the Friends tab, and all of you can be in that virtual classroom to experience together the learning journey that is being prepared by the teacher. Then we have allow and deny blocks. So these blocks allow educators to set editable or read-only areas of the world. This means allowing or denying students the ability to build and focusing the learning to specific spaces. So basically, the allow and deny blocks can is a capability given to teachers to create some constraints when designing their learning environment. So in here, you can set what are the things that they can just simply make use of, or what are the things that they can change, and so on. So in here, you can even you can make use of this mechanism or technique to guide your learners to the specific spaces that you wanted them to focus in their learning. Then we have the border blocks, this one here. Now, the border blocks help teachers define areas in the game that their students can build and play in. Again, this is one way of putting some constraints, okay? Of course, it's very natural to put some constraints. I think when we design games or learning environments, we make use of these constraints, house rules, you may say, to guide our learners and even to ensure that they are using appropriate behaviors whenever they are already engaging in the learning journey that you have designed. So basically, in general, border blocks can also be one of the capability that teacher can have to be able to ensure that expected learning behaviors are being implemented. I mean, are being observed by the learners. And then we have the non-player characters or the NPC. This can be placed in the game to provide information to students, give direction, and link to other resources. These NPCs can actually act as you. Okay, basically in a conventional type of teaching, we know that when we give activities to our learners, what happens is that from time to time, your learners will approach you and ask you something for like guide or idea or clue on how they can go about in completing the task. So basically in Minecraft Education Edition, in that game, your NPC can become you, a virtual you there, to provide direction or even link to other resources for your learners to help them carry out the task that you have given to them. So as you can see here, you can have that, you can even name that accordingly to how you wanted it to name on the kind of game that you design. So in here, this NPC is being called as the town guide. So as a town guide, of course, this has it will provide, so when this is being clicked, no, when this is being clicked by the learner, it will provide information that would help the learner carry out the task to the next level. And then we have the chalkboards. So if in the conventional teaching we have chalkboards, we also have three different size chalkboards here. We have the slate, the poster, and the board itself. Now these are used by teachers to communicate learning goals or challenge students with problems to solve within the game. So you can see here, if that is a math subject, you can write there the problem. Okay, as an entry point, perhaps you can write the problem that you wanted them to solve along the way. Okay, so you can make use of that. There are so many ways that you can make use of the boards. In some other games, they make use of this to write a saying or a riddle. So a way, there are different ways on how you can communicate your learner. So that already depends on the creativity of the teacher. So that's actually a virtual blackboard in Minecraft that the teacher can use to guide, even to guide and give directions to the learners. Then we have the camera, okay? So camera is embedded on the Minecraft game, and this is actually to allow students to take screenshots of their work. Now, photo documentation, so basically you allow learners to do photo documentations because most of the time in the game-based learning in Minecraft, it's part of the design that learners are to accomplish a journal. And upon accomplishing a journal, they also attach screenshots. Okay, so in there, because journal is part of the learning process, it is through journal that they could be able to understand deeper those concepts that you wanted them to understand through their learning experience. So by recounting their learning experience and by looking into those pictures that they have taken during their learning journey, they are able to process it well and being able to, arrive to that conclusion or to that goal that you wanted them to achieve. So that's the camera's role there. And then, if there is a camera, this is what we call also the portfolio. So it is in here that you save those screenshots that you have taken using the camera. And it is also here in your portfolio that you take notes, okay? Or the portfolio itself can actually be used as a diary. So in here, when you are already accomplishing a journal, it is actually this portfolio that your learners will be using. And this one, after they have already accomplished the portfolio, basically if they have already finished the game, this can be exported into a PDF file in which the learner can share it to you so that you can make access of that and read about that and even understand fully how your learner is able to understand the lesson that you have in that game. And then we have the classroom mode. So classroom mode is a partner application that empowers educators to interact, monitor, and facilitate purposeful learning for one or many groups of students. So as you can see here, this is how it looks like in a classroom mode. So you can actually monitor all of your learners here into exactly what is happening. And in the chat box, okay, so you have here the names of your learners in the player roster. And then in here in the chat box, you can see all of their communications. So like for example, in here, Deirdre, the yellow one, calls the attention of his teacher and uh, he's asking if where is already Neil M. Okay, so Neil M also seems to be lost. So what happened is that the teacher has to intervene so that Deirdre and Neil M will have to see each other. And so what happened is that the teacher teleports one to the other's location so that they can already start the task that they're supposed to be doing together. So that's a good thing about the closed classroom mode. Hello, so at this point, I'll actually be having a quick demonstration on how to make access of Minecraft Education Edition. So basically, you visit this page here or this site, education.minecraft.net, okay? And so you will be sent into this page here, to the web page here. This one you will see. And of course, if you have an account, you simply have to sign in there. But for me, I just don't have to kuan na pwede raman no ma-access na nato, ma-explore na nato siya. So you have there how this works if you wanted to know even a more information about Minecraft, and even other things or studies that have shown how this kind of platform gives impact, okay, in a classroom setup. And then news and stories. So we have also here getting started. So you will have how to buy that one. And then you have, if you wanted to download the application on your desktop. And then for educators, we also have a guide here. And then parents, IT admins, camps and clubs. And by the way, they already have, this is now available for mobile. So moni naka-tsyada niya, because you can now make access of this application in different kinds of devices. So kung ang available lang sa bata is cell phone, then it can be accessed through a cell phone. So basically, but I don't know if what is already the capability of this one. Maybe I could invite you to explore on that. But because last year, based on experience, if learners are using mobile phones, they really have to use mobile. All should use mobile phones so that they can be in one world. That was what we experienced last year. I don't know if that kind of experience has been enhanced. So I hope you can explore of that. But basically, we already have bago pa man gud ning ko ano mobile edition nila sa Minecraft. So you can make use of it already, because labi na sa ato ang time no, most of our learners, they have we have more learners that have mobile devices other than other devices. Now, under teaching with Minecraft, we have this one, which is very important to teachers like us, the resources. And then we have this community events that are happening. And if you wanted to be a mentor, you go into the mentor program, and we have this one, community forums. Now, under the explore lessons, okay, even here we have the get trained. So, like for example, if you're still very new with Minecraft, you can have this one, okay? So if you are a teacher that is very interested in Minecraft, you can complete these courses here, earn a badge, and at the same time learn the basics of Minecraft, okay? So we have three stages here. We have let's build individually, let's modify together, and let's build worlds together. This is under the Minecraft Teacher Academy program. Now in here, we also have these kinds of trainings for coding using Minecraft. So we have that one. These are actually all the resources that any of us teacher can explore. Okay, and we have also this one, different kinds of courses. We have eSport Teacher Academy, student ambassadorship if you wanted your learners to be student ambassadors, and so on. So in here, if you are very new to Minecraft, the best or the very first thing that you will have to do is to complete this training. So this is a Minecraft Teacher Academy, which is actually good for 3 hours. No, this is an online courses that will teach you how to effectively incorporate Minecraft education in your curriculum. So start your journey with our introductory course, Minecraft 101. Okay, so that's it. Now you can have this for the quick start. If you wanted to explore, no, let's go to explore what is quick start here. So if you're an educator, if you click that one, okay, so we have that kind of path that you as an educator, as a parent, will be guided. Okay, so here you have download and install, and then you have the parent guide. Under IT, you have help with the deployment and licensing, and educator training if you are the one to provide the trainings, and so on. Okay, that's actually properly being provided there. Now going back, no, so that's for the train as for the teachers if they wanted to train. Now for the lessons, let's have explore lessons here. And there are many resources that you can make use of. So these are the different subject kits. We have science here, math, computer science, language arts, history and culture, art and design, and even non-academic curriculums like digital citizenship, social, emotional, equity and inclusion, and climate and sustainability. These are very important things that has also that needs to be taught to our learners. Now again, we wanted them to be lifelong learners, and so we wanted to develop their holistic aspect. Now let's look into the math. Okay, if we click this one here, these are the different lessons, specific lessons that is under with math. So we have here, and take note, these are lessons that are curated, okay? So they provide lesson plans. If you click that one there, okay, say for example, a decimal, you have already the lesson plan. These lesson plans again are curated already, curated lesson plans. So you have the learning objectives, the guiding ideas, the student activities, the performance expectations, no? And then this is already the world. You simply have to download this or assign this one, okay? So or print this one. That means you are to print this lesson plan here. And then the skills are identified. What are the specific skills that are being achieved here? So for this specific activity or lesson, we have communication, creativity, and critical thinking. At the same time, you will be provided with the supporting files. We have the decimal garden, the decimal garden world file. So the decimal garden is sample picture of decimal garden, while the decimal garden world file, this is compressed. Okay, this is a compressed file. Okay, so that's it. You are provided by, and this is just no updated last June 6, 2022. And there are many lessons that can be chosen here. So depende na lang kung asa sa imuha ang mas muhaom. Okay, and then they even have those that are aligned with certain curriculums, no, that are aligned, standard alignments. Na yung mga standard alignments here. Okay, there are many actually. Okay, let's go down so that you could see more. Then you can load more so to have that one. All right, now let's have, say for example, what's the probability? Yan. And again, there is already the lesson plan, no? This is also one of the good thing I want in this Minecraft education. No? They provided you with these lesson plans that are already curated. And again, these are the supporting files that you might be needing. Now, what if as a teacher I wanted to explore this because I don't know yet if which of these lessons that are already available in Minecraft would really be very useful to me. So to start exploring which lessons would you like to be using for your class, and if it is the first time for you on using Minecraft, of course the first thing that you need to do is to go to how it works and get started and click download. Now in here, you will have this one, okay? And it will actually automatically detect what kind of operating system you are using. So you just have to click download now. So when you are done downloading, it will actually, the icon would look like this one. So let me have a magnifier. Okay, let's make it 300. So it's, the icon would look like this one after you have downloaded that. Okay, now you just have to click that one and just read, okay, the instructions properly. It's very simple to install that. After you have already installed that one, you have this, and if you double click that, and it's initializing. So of course you will be asked to sign in, so I will have to sign in here. So we are about to sign in, no, using my account. And in here you have this interface, and this is the skins that you can choose. If you click that one, there are other skins that your learners can choose from. Okay, and then if you click this add here, you have that. No, you can add that one. Maybe I can have that, and then, or perhaps I can have this as my avatar, and then confirm, and then just go back there. Okay, then you have their new and featured. If you want to, you can even have switch account, but let's have there the play. So in here, if I will click this one, these are already the worlds that I have used. Okay, so you have that one, but basically if you are a first user, you have nothing here yet na makita. Okay, but you can add a world by just simply clicking that. So if you click that one, can have new, or you have templates. If you have new, you make your own. Okay, but if you will be making templates, so you have these templates here already. Now, basically, if you will have to choose, that means you have already explored the different kinds of worlds that you wanted to make use of. So, at this point, I will not just add any worlds yet, because what I wanted to do is to explore first what are the available lessons that I can make use of. Okay, so you have also view library. Now, under view library, you have there the subject kits. Okay, the one that we have seen on their website. And then we have monthly build challenges. Okay, so if you have learners that wants more and they are already advanced in, actually not really advanced, because there are beginners skilled in here in building, beginners to advanced skill in building here. You can have these monthly build challenges so that they could, if they wanted more of the content, okay, using Minecraft. And then we have the starter worlds, okay. Under here, the biomes, you have these different kinds of biomes that you can make use of. If, okay, daghan kag mapilian din ha. And then we have here, in building plates, okay. So we have a starter town, we have blocks of grass, digital classroom if you wanted to make use of that, and then 100 chart, okay. So that's under starter worlds. And here, if you wanted to have tutorial, okay. So let's try to explore a little bit of this one here later. We have also additional tutorials here. So it is a tutorial on how to build a simple house, a chemistry tutorial on how to make use of the virtual chemistry lab here in Minecraft, and then the code builder tutorial. So we have all of this stuff here that you can actually make use of. Okay, now in here, if you will choose this, you will be the movement. Okay, you will be taught on how to do the movement, place break, interact, camera, on how to make use of the camera and portfolio, the chalkboards, and the NPC. So kompleto yan dyan lahat. Okay, then here, start here touch. Okay, If you are using a touch screen, you can have that one there. Now, let's have just a here in the subject kits, and let's just have, let's say, the science, and we have here, ano, I can have math if, then we have here, naka-categorize siya, no? So here we have additional lessons. So let's have here, uh, maybe area and volume, okay? Now you have there, so you can see the description, and then even the age, no, the level of difficulty is even being put there, and then the duration. It actually provides a complete information on the part of the teacher, no. You have all the information that you needed, and then you have there the lesson plan if you wanted to, okay. Then i-link, kang i-link din, ha, okay. Then say for example you wanted to make use of this one, okay, so just simply click create the world. So we are just simply waiting for the setup to be completed, okay, as it is about to create the world that we chose actually. Ayan. Okay. So in here, no, so you make use of your mouse to, you know, turn around, up and down, move up and down, make use of your mouse here. Okay. Again, there is a tutorial, and if you can see here on your screen, the corresponding letters on the keyboards are actually there already if you wanted. So you have W for forward, S for back, A for left, and so on. Okay, so you have that there. Okay, and then if I will have to move, and then backward. Okay, so if you can see here, on the lower right side of our screen, we have there the mouse icon. I mean the mouse icon. So it says there that if you click mouse to, it will open. Okay, it will open something there. But at this point, wala pa siya sulod. Okay, so let's explore the area. Yan. And again, you look at the boards to see if there are some clues, no? Wala siya gisulat nga mga kuan sa boards. Alright, as you can see here on the lower right portion, you have there the mouse icon. So if you press mouse 2, it will actually open up the slate, okay? So in here you will actually have to solve this one, how much, kung pila ang area ani nila by using the blocks. Each block actually corresponds. There is actually as a teacher, you will have to actually guide your learners about this one. So but basically in here, each block corresponds one unit sa iyahang side ana. So in here, if that is the case, length times width man siya, we have 2 blocks sa length. Okay, you can see there. We have 2 blocks, and then 2 blocks pud siya sa kuan. There, 2 blocks sa width. So that means kay 2 man, okay, I will have to edit. So I will have 2 and then times 2 equals 4. Or we can have that as area is equals to length and width. Length times width. So I will have that as, this will now be 4 is equals to, we have 2 times 2. Ayan. I will lock that already. And then, so makikita yan ni teacher. And then I'll proceed. Okay? Can jump so that I could see pila ni siya kabuok ang iyahang length. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? This is 4. Ang yang width. And how about the length? I have 1, 2. No, we have 1, 2, and 3. So this is the length. Okay, we have that as our length 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then I'll go backward. And then the width is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I will now go here and then mouse to again so that I could edit. So length equals length of and width. So that would mean uh, the length was 3, the width is 4, so that means that's 12, and which is equals to 3 times, the length is 3 and the width is 4, and I will have that to be lock, and there. Okay, and so on. So the learners will have to complete this task. Okay, they just have to complete that task there. And so this is what I mean when there is a flexibility, flexibility, dynamic flexibility. Learners can actually apply the concept of solving. No, they're just only not looking at the numbers, but these are tangible objects in which learners are able to connect, and grasp the abstract concept behind getting an area of an object. Okay, so that's the thing here about Minecraft education. Okay, and then on this part is actually getting the volume. And this is actually presented in different ways. So in here, you can get the volume of these objects here. And another thing is that you are able to present the volume. No, you can actually get the volume of the water in this manner. Okay, so you see, the concept becomes very easy for the learners to connect because these are, these are actually, sorry, okay, I'll go up first. Ayan. The concepts are easily understood and learners are able to connect with this because there are tangible things that they are able to count off. No, again, when they are getting the length, the width, and the height, they simply have to count the blocks. Okay, that represents that one day. Of course, you have there. This is now the deepening of the concept of our learners. Labi na sa math, no, kung itudlo ni siya, it's very difficult for us to just simply use numbers. Okay, so we cannot really expect so much understanding of that in that approach. But by having this one, using blocks to represent the idea on getting the volume, will eventually really help the learners understand more of that. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to show to you is on actually how you can share on a perspective of a teacher, how you can actually share the game that you have already designed for your learners, and that's actually very easy. Say for example, you are, of course, you go to your view my worlds, and because under the view my worlds, these are all the lessons or the worlds that you have already chosen for a particular lesson. And say, for example, that my lesson about zero waste challenge is what I wanted to share to my learners. Now, if I will have to click that one there, of course, you have here the host button. Okay. And of course, as you can see, it's still under the initializing. And when it opens, you are actually already in the game itself. But of course, you just simply have to click the escape button of your laptop device. And when you do that, you will have here the share link button. Of course, you can already do the stop hosting if in the long run, you're done with the activity and you don't want your learners anymore to make access of the game. So you just simply have to click the stop hosting. Now, if you see here, there are the code. So for every game, there is a corresponding code for that. And if you can see, the code is actually pictures in which learners will have to make use of when they make access of the world. And I'll show you a demonstration of how is it done. So when you click the share link, there are basically three default ways that you can share that through the MS Teams platform, through an email, or even the Google Classroom. Or you can copy this one by just clicking this, and you just have to save, or I mean paste this to the messenger or any platforms that your learners are easy to be communicated with. Okay, so if you also click this one here for this button, you have here the how to play button. If you are very new for this game, of course, you have that. Everything of that are provided. So you see, what is the beauty about Minecraft Education Edition is that all the necessary information for both teachers and learners are provided already there. So if you just only give time to explore, then you really be able, in the long run, you will be pretty much acquainted of the interface of the game itself. Now, the settings, of course, under the settings, your learners cannot make changes of this. As a host, you are the only one that can make changes of this one. And that's very important. No, that's one way to control also the game and making it sure that you are hitting the learning competencies that you wanted them to achieve by the lesson that you are giving them. Okay, so you can make as well time to explore more on this, on how you can maximize this one so that the implementation of the game-based learning will be more effective. And of course, if you are done, okay, say you can go, resume the game, or if you are done, you just simply again click the escape button of your laptop device, and then click here, and then click save and exit, and then you're out of the game. Now, the next thing that I'd like to show to you is how you are to connect, given already that you have the code. Okay, say for example, on the perspective of a learner, after nga naka-log in as a student, basically, it will go here in this interface, okay? So, arriving in this interface, if the learner wanted to join the game, he or she will simply have to click the join world button. And as you can see here, katong code nga imong gi-generate, you can have that. They will have to enter the respective code. So there are four codes that they need to connect with that one. And after they have properly connected the corresponding codes for that game, they just have to simply click confirm, and they will already be joining the game. Of course, you can change the code of that. You just have to click generate code. So if you go back here from our game, I forgot to also share to you if it is possible to change the code. Yes, it is. So from here, I just click escape, and then I have this, the interface of this one comes out. So in here, you just have to click this one, and when you click that, you will be actually be generating a new code. But of course, you have to be very careful when you are generating new codes, because if you have given an old code, they might not be able to access anymore the world, because there is already a new code that is being set for this particular game. So you have to make it sure that the code that you have already shared will be the final code already. Okay, now I'll just have to cancel that one and resume. And again, if I will have to go back here, save and exit. Another thing that I would like to share for every games, if you click that one, you have here this manage. So let's have that one. So under that, you can actually copy this one. You have the export and then the delete if you wanted that already to be, if you don't want that game anymore under your worlds. So under the copy, of course, you make another copy of that one. So perhaps you will give this to another section, another game for another section. Okay, maybe that's what you wanted to happen. Then if you say export, okay, because you can actually download the game itself in your other devices. so that you can make access of this one in multiple devices. So that's what we do under export. So I think that's it for the quick demonstration of the fundamental features of Minecraft Education Edition. And uh, basically what we are able to achieve in this particular session is that we are able to show the great potential of Minecraft Education Edition for us teachers to use that in terms of implementing a game-based learning. And basically, as I have mentioned before, there is also a very great potential of improving the learning journey and the learning experiences of our learners when the project-based learning approach and the game-based learning approach are being integrated. I guess that's a very good kind of teaching methodology that is far more better than the conventional teaching that we are implementing. But of course, I'd like also to open up this conversation that it's not also very easy to explore this kind of teaching approaches when infrastructure is not enough. So we have to put in mind that whenever we decided to integrate technology in our teaching, it has to be given consideration that there is enough facility that will be provided to the learners so that they have uh, equal access of the learning journey that you have designed. So that's it for Minecraft Education Edition.